Hello everyone, TM Game here, and today I am thrilled to bring you another really interesting Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 commentary all about how to rush effectively. However, before I get into the nitty-gritty of the commentary, there's just a couple of things I want to mention. First and foremost, I am really sorry I couldn't upload more regularly last week, but I was just so ill last week. I think Friday morning it was the most ill I have been in about 3 years, because I had to sit in bed. I couldn't physically get out of bed. I had to drag my laptop over to email my lecturers to tell them I couldn't make the seminars. You know, that is how bad I got. I couldn't get out of bed for the first 3 hours in the morning because my head just hurt too much. So, you know, that was pretty bad. Fortunately now, I have managed to kick that off. I'm still feeling a little bit groggy, but, you know, it's not going to stop me doing anything, not going to stop me working or playing games, so I am back fully fit and firing. Unfortunately, I was hoping to bring you some Mass Effect today, but my PVR had an absolute mare last night. I spent about 2 or 3 hours playing some really interesting multiplayer gameplay using the Vanguard, you know, really interesting gameplay it would have been, but unfortunately my PVR had a bit of a mare. It balls up, it didn't record properly, so what I'm going to be doing now is bringing you a fantastic Modern Warfare 3 commentary to replace it. However, I do have some very good news for all of you guys out there who play FIFA or Mass Effect. Now, I know a lot of people have been asking me over the past couple of months, can you add me? And finally, my answer is going to be definitely yes. I have an account which I use for all of my EA games. So FIFA, Mass Effect, Killzone, you know, all of those games I use on the account Tom Alex Evans. That's TOMALEXEVANS. All one word, all lowercase. If you ever want to play me at FIFA or at Mass Effect, add the account Tom Alex Evans. That is the account you can add me. The friends list, I think, only has about 5 or 10 people on it, you know, because my Tom Evans account, my friends list is full, because that's the account I use most often. So Tom Alex Evans is a very empty friends list at the moment. So if you want to play me at either FIFA or play me at Mass Effect 3 online, I'd be more than happy to add you online. So just add Tom Alex Evans, and that will be that. Right then, I think that's enough on the little bit of the build-up. Let's get into this commentary, because this commentary is really following on from the one I did early last week, and I was talking about, you know, how to rush well, and I was mentioning that sort of tactical rushing style used by the very best players on YouTube, like the X-Cals and the Sandy Ravagers. Now, in this gameplay today, I use this tactical rushing style. Now, it's obviously not as good as Sandy Ravage. I mean, that guy is a monster, and X-Cal's a beast as well. But this is an easy, repeatable way to do it for you and me to go out there and win. Because I'm like you a lot of the time. I'm not the best rusher in the world. But what I do is I watch the tactics of people like X-Cal and Sandy Ravage to help me get better. And I'm now so much better at rushing than I was in previous Call of Duties. And that's just through following these very small tips. And you guys can see for yourself the impact these tips have, because I've got Moabs rushing around now, you know, with an MP5 and specialist, and I would have struggled to do that when I first started Call of Duty. So the improvement is definitely there for you. But if you guys really want to rush well, you're gonna have to rush with cover, and I touched on this last video, but I really wanted to focus a lot on it on this video, because you know, what I normally do in videos like this is do a normal little segment of the video. I do a freeze frame animation, stop the footage, and I talk about the footage. But what I was looking through this video today, I was trying to think of an example of how tactical rushing can be shown the best. But you know, I think the whole gameplay is a very good example of that, because the only times I get killed when I'm rushing is through people camping just in such random parts of the map. I mean, it doesn't matter how well you play, you can never take into account that one guy who's just going to be determinedly sitting in the back of the map. And if you get killed by someone like that, don't worry. I mean, you see several times in this gameplay, for example, I run round a corner and there's no one there, and then all of a sudden I'm dead, and I just have to sit and watch the kill cam because I have literally no idea where they are. And you do get players like that who use their silenced assault rifle and sit in the corner with assassin all game, and you know, they'll go 5 and 3, and you don't have to worry about players like that, because if you play like this, you will get much better scores and you will crush them on the leaderboard. And you know, tactical rushing is a fantastic way to do that, because it's all about rushing with cover. Every single time you see me run around, I always try and put a bit of cover in between me and where I think the enemies are going to come from. I mean, for example, here is a perfect example. I have just climbed up that ladder because even though this game is still, you know, 2 or 3 months old now, 4 months old nearly, People do not know about that spot still. It's all about being spontaneous. It's all about being aggressive, but at the same time, knowing what you're doing. You know, the one thing that will guarantee to get you killed 99 times out of 100 in Call of Duty is if you just charge, aimlessly charge around. You know, every now and again you're going to die randomly to a grenade or a kill streak or whatever, but through tactical rushing, you remove so many of the variables that get you killed in rushing. You can really, really boost your scores because you take a lot of those gunfights out of the equation that you would lose normally. For example, I'm using a shotgun. 90% of the time, the shotgun is powerless because it can only really affect you in effective pistol range. So if you get outside of that, the shotgun is harmless to you. To counteract that, you see through here, for example, I always take inside routes when I can, because then if I meet people, I will meet them in my perfect range for taking them out with a shotgun. You know, what you want to do is avoid areas like this, for example, the market, as often as possible. Whenever I go into the market, I always try and go around the sides or go behind a stall just for a bit of protection. And I try and avoid this side of the map where I am right now almost entirely, because as you can see, it's a very, very open road. You know, you've got to try and stay in cover as much as possible, but still move around. You see a lot of the times in this gameplay, I will run to a piece of cover, have a quick look, it's clear. I run around to another piece of cover, have a quick look, it's clear, and slowly push up like that. You know, if you gain confidence in this tactic as well, the speed at which you execute it goes through the roof. But what I advise you guys to do is for the first 2 or 3 gameplays that you try this out, do it at half speed. So run to a piece of cover, have a good look round, make sure there's no one there, run to the next piece of cover. Then as you slowly get more and more confident with the technique and with the strategy, what you should do is slowly pick up the pace. So you just run to the cover, and as you're running, you have a look around, and the only time you stop is if you need to reload. So one massive tip for today, guys: if you are rushing, it doesn't matter if you're against good players or bad players, you really need to stick in cover. Tactical rushing is the way that these very, very good players, the Fearcrads, the Excals, get their massive scores. So if you want to get a massive score, rushing in this way is the best way to go it. And as you've seen from my Moab gameplays and my high kill domination gameplays, this method works on a variety of maps with a variety of weapons. So I would be absolutely thrilled if you guys gave this a go. But until then, I'd just like to thank you all so much for watching. Once again, a very, very quick reminder: add the gamers tag Tom Alex Evans on PS3 if you want to play me at FIFA or Mass Effect. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day.